Hey, it's me, Aries 83, with another lackluster review with you guys. With Galvatron, I really wanted to do that review. I like the toy a lot. He's great, awesome, chunky boy. Tracks, on the other hand, I think I'm gonna be a little short with this guy. I've realized sometimes there's stuff that I don't like reviewing, or I'm really not into it. If you've noticed from my reviews, I don't review everything that comes out because that's a chore. It is. I don't have a backlog like Bulk Matrix because everything that I get, I'm not gonna review. That's insane. Trax is beside himself. I have 5 copies of the figure. Got 2 from GameStop and 3 from Best Buy. The retail price is the new normal of $22.99. As Gotbot, aka Dennis Moulton, likes to say, the prices are going up. So I guess Wave 3 is where we're gonna feel the heat of the prices. So $22.99 is better than $24.99. I know, like the Gundam Universe and sometimes the GI Joe Classifieds go for that price. 24. I don't have a lot to say about tracks in my personal info. Let me see. Let me get rid of this guy's gonna my desk bot. I was trying to scratch off his numbers here, and I scratched off this paint. Okay, get him out of the way. Let me put this guy, who is the figure of my collection, in the pose. And as you saw, he was gonna take a bow. I'll get to that later. As a kid, I liked tracks. Me and my brother had debates about who would, when we would play with our friends, like who would be tracks, because tracks had the unique ability to become a flying Corvette, not featured here. But that's mostly about what I remember of him. Also, his box art and the fact that he would hang out in New York with Raul and his friends. I did own the G1 commemorative figure. I did sell it after I bought. When I got into collecting Transformers, I got Cybertron, and then there was a while where I was collecting the movie figures from the first movie, and then when I got all of them, I decided, let me go back and start collecting G1. I got a few G1s, and then eventually I just sold them back. Which I kind of regret. I had Rodimus Prime. I had Grapple and Trax and Ricochet because I couldn't get my hands on the Jazz. But the old G1 figure has a problem. I think there's breakage with the roof when you're transforming him, and I'm sure this guy's gonna follow suit in the tradition of tracks and breaking stuff. Before I get into robot mode, I want to talk about the cards. I'm gonna do a video about the cards that I have. I have binders full of Power the Primes, Combiner Wars, and these cards. I didn't know what they were for. I thought they were a waste of time. Like, here's a card that comes with a sticker and another picture in the back. But basically, these things are supposed to be the destinies of 4 characters. Just 4. The Ark, Black Arachnia, Dinobot, Optimus, and Megatron. Well, they're 5. What dummy. Destinies change. So, I guess in each wave, you got a card, and like if it was wave 1, it would show you their first destiny. Since he's part of wave 3 tracks, this is the 3rd destiny of the Autobot arc. which is to become a robot. And there he is holding Megatron. I want to get the one that has Megatron turning into Galvatron. I saw a recent review of someone reviewing Galvatron, and I noticed that the Galvatron image on the back is the box art for the toy. And I think I probably mentioned it in the Galvatron review, but Hasbro should credit their artist. So, robot mode. Here, there is two things about the robot mode that I do not like. The biggest offender is Gappy McGee. Look at that. I mean, it's not noticeable in reviews, but he has no chest. Let me unpeg this. Well, that's the extent of his chest. It's a wafer thin. Yeah, this part sticks out, but there's nothing here. It's so awkward. I do not like it. It disappoints me. It vexes me. I'm completely vexed.
It vexes me. I'm terribly vexed.
I did I'm with the gap. I'm having flashbacks of the figure that made me leave collecting Transformers, which was War for Cybertron Jazz. That was from the video game. You'd be able to look into his chest and see that there was a big old hole of air, and I was like, Optimus and Jazz from that game, they both had gappy chest, and I was like, what? I'm out. And I started collecting Halo. So I'm having flashbacks about this, and it's not good, Hasbro. I'm not like, oh my God, look at the wafer thin chest. That's amazing. No, it's not. It sucks. I after I stopped collecting because of War for Cybertron Jazz, I started collecting because of Thrilling 30 Scoop. And if you look at that bad boy's chest, it's pretty chunk. He does have Ghastly ankles, as Prime versus Prime trademark mentioned in his video. But I'm not one of those guys who displays their figures so that you could look at their feet. I hardly display my figures head on, so that's why I notice the gap. Like, I'm looking at the toy like this and the gap is there, but if you look at the toy like this, the gap, you don't see it. Maybe you might notice it here, like, whoop, but that darkness might make you think, yeah, there's like gray plastic here. Nope, it's air. His right leg is loose. Cow Tiny on Instagram, she mentioned that she was disappointed with her Trax's leg being loose, and it's not something that can't be fixed with some pledge or some Kiki. I don't know if Kiki works well or pledge with that's weird. It's like kind of shiny. I just noticed that. Maybe that's why it's loose. It's also shiny on this side too. Huh. I don't know if pledge will fix. It's usually for ball joints, but this is like a ratcheted joint, and the looseness is back and forth. I don't mind the whole top of the car of the vehicle mode being scrunched onto his back or being made out of transparent plastic. I don't mind it. I do like that Tracks, just like Motor Master and Mix Master. The design has his this coming over his head, so it's kind of like a rain protector, like a hood. But in this case, he doesn't have it. So if it rains, he's gonna have to get an umbrella. Just pegging this umbrella here that shoots. In the box art, the 3D render, the top of his shoulders are blue, but actually they're cast in white. And one of the best qualities that I always look for in an action figure is that they can do the pose. So yeah, there's that. The alt mode is solid because everything is bunched up. There's hardly any hollowness just over here, and the wings fit in nicely in the bottom. He does roll. He rolls well, so there's that. The only thing that I don't like is that when you're transforming him into to car mode, you have to make sure that you connect the teeth. So basically, you see this? It's like teeth. You have to get these to go in with this, and I call it a dangerous transformation because it's just asking to break. And then you have to tab in this into the front part of the car, which are these tabs here, when you connect them. And then when I turned them into a car, I had to push in hard so it could click. That's gonna be an issue if you constantly transform your figures. You can end up breaking it. I feel like in order for Hasbro to get away with not paying a license for the Corvette, I mean, they had crosshairs way back in Age of Extinction. He's a Corvette, not an 80s Corvette like this guy. But I think in order to get away with paying licensing fees, they made his the cab here. They made it super deformed. It's pretty chonky. It pops out a lot. If you compare him to G1 Tracks, you'll see. I think it was Chefatron that reviewed him and compared him to Tracks, and you could see the difference in the hood. I think that's how they got away with the licensing. Like super deformed, like a penny racer. There's lots of options for customization. You can see that he has lights here. Some pen and lining can make those pop. He has some vents here, some silver paint. He has some vents in the front, which is cool. He has a license plate spot in the back and some lights. So yeah, on the Corvette, on the real vehicle, this is all transparent plastic, but for some reason they painted part of it. Yeah, it looks like paint on the inside, I guess, to hide the head. Otherwise it'd be like, peekaboo, I see you. The flying car mode just involves pulling out the arms. Alright, so like after a minute struggling to try and get these arms out, I couldn't. I'm not gonna try. I'm not gonna jam something in there so I could chip the. Basically, the stupid flying car mode. The stupid flying car mode is that you have to bring out the arms with the wheels up, and then you're gonna have the wings out, and that's it. It's just his arms on the side, and then you bring out these wings, His little wings, because Red Bull gives you wings. He's kind of flying. But yeah. That car flying mode. There you go. The car flying mode isn't it's screen accurate. It's not amazing, but I guess there's nothing to hold the arms in place, so you could always just like move his arms up and down. So that's kind of dumb. But it's classic G1. Also, a lot of people have complained about the front of the car not clicking together. But that's fine.
Guilty or innocent?
As you can tell, I'm not really enthused. I'm not really happy about this figure. I should be, but it's when you expect to have fun with a game like a Marvel Avengers and it just ends up being a chore to do, frustrating and disappointing. You any love, any anticipation of having fun with a figure is gone. It's gone. This guy, I own 5 of these guys and it doesn't feel wonderful. I made a terrible mistake. I'm not gonna return them. I rarely return figures unless I got swiped or they're really broken. I'm gonna probably throw them in storage, wait a few years, and see if someone wants to buy them. 3 is good for me. You know, 1 for the collection, 1 to customize in the desk spot. But I think for regular Joe, 1 is good enough. You'll have all the frustration and all the disappointment you need in 1 figure, just 1. This guy, in my mind, he gets placed alongside Kingdom Warpath. That's another figure that I'm not really enamored with. I only own 1 of them, and he's a G1 figure. And this guy, I made the mistake of buying more than 1. Tracks usually gets up with Blaster. Rumor has it that we're gonna get 1. I have my G1 Blaster here, so they could have some Blaster Blues or make Tracks. So rumor has it that we're gonna get Blaster, but I'm not excited to pair them because this is a disappointment. He's not a bad toy, but like most of the Beast Wars guys, I'm not feeling him. I thought I would. That's why I bought 5. When he showed up on Best Buy, I was like, oh my god, Tracks, a G1 car guy. I love those guys. Yeah. No, I don't love this guy. Good thing, the only good that's come out of getting Tracks is that I was going to get a Target Red card to buy Road Rage, but now I'm going to dodge that bullet. The artwork on the Tracks box actually has the Road Rage head painted in Tracks colors. But I'm going to dodge that freaking bullet. Thank goodness, because I don't need to mess up my credit. All I can finally say is I'm disappointed. Insert video here.
Wait a minute. This isn't my world. Disappointed!
But if you're a fan, just get 1. The lines after wave 1 can be fickle, and some waves sometimes get shunted. I don't know if that wave's going to be wave 3 or if it's going to be wave 4. But sometimes, like with Titan's Return, the wave that had Windblade and Misfire, that was, it was a tail ender. But even the guy that was already released, Wolfwire, he was hard to find. So it's like with Power to Primes, the wave that had Nova Storm. A lot of people had trouble finding Nova Storm. So if you like tracks and you can buy one, do it. I would recommend picking them up because I don't know what the future of the wave holds. Whatever's next is coming down the pipe. They usually reveal that at San Diego Comic Con and New York Comic Con. It's already July. So I think Kingdom is ending with Wave 4. And who knows what happens if Wave 4 even shows up. So this guy's Wave 3. If you want him and you can get him, get him. Get one. Ares 83. I'm gonna, maybe in the future, for figures like Tracks, I'm gonna cut the cut the fluff and just get down to the brass tacks and say pros and cons, because I don't like this. I don't like this at all. This is a chore. Galvatron was a delight to do. This is a chore. I'm Aries 83, and I'll see you later. Fancy carburetor. Bye.
Cybertron must be stopped.